you can experience a level of pleasure and share that with someone that you never even knew was possible. You'll see how powerful you are. It's literally life changing. And it changed my life a decade ago. To unleash your magnetic sexual power, when that's unleashed, you're a man, you're going to radiate confidence and magnetism. You embody that like raw sexual energy. We know that energy can be felt like when we're completely in our turn on and we're lit up with it and we're not feeling shame or disconnected from it or repressing it, suppressing it down. Your aura can be felt whenever you enter a room. Sometimes people enter a room and you're like, oh, I'd really like to know that person. And you can feel the energy of the room shift because our auric field is 3 to 4 feet around us. If our chakras and our energy centers are fully open, as well, then we're increasing that vibration with our auric field and we're raising that. And these practices help you to be able to do that so you can actually be felt and shift the energy in the room. Like you bringing your own weather and you being under the influence of someone else's weather. What is the energy? How are you showing up? And you magnetize things to you. My clients are like, wow, women are just coming up to me. It's really amazing. So you embody, you're comfortable with that. But a lot of times in our modern world, we all, men and women, we're disconnected from our sexual energy and we operate like robots. We're operating from the neck up and we are overthinking, you're underfeeling. I love this quote by Paulo Coelho. Anyone who is observant knows that sexual energy comes into play before sex even takes place. He wrote the amazing book called The Alchemist. But that sexual energy can be felt and that desire can be felt. That's palpable. And when you're really comfortable with your own sexual energy, your life force, your chi, your vital force energy within you, and you know how to have that dance with that, then you're actually able to feel that energy of your lover. Even though they can communicate with you what their desires are, you can intuitively feel into what they're wanting. And lovemaking goes to all new level. Now, why it's important that you understand this is when you're frequently ejaculating, because ejaculation for men drains their life force energy like a battery, and you're constantly draining the energy down. For women, we lose our life force energy or chi energy through pregnancy, childbirth, menstruation. Males lose that energy through ejaculation. That's why after sex, you'll see that men quickly fall asleep, whereas women will be more talkative. If you are constantly ejaculating, then you're draining yourself. You're not showing up to the world, your most creativity. That's why professional boxers and Muhammad Ali, for a big match, they wouldn't have sex because you don't have that extra oomph to go in at life and the things and the goals that are passionate about. Even subconsciously, sometimes it then pull away right after sex from a woman or body, all of the millions, all the cells and all the fluid that just released from your body, how many lives could that have created? So you're having to rebuild that reserve. That's why they believe for men and women that on average, the lifespan for women is longer than Taoist beliefs, which is very similar to Tantra practices as well. The Taoist and Chinese and Eastern medicine is that the reason the lifespan for women is longer than men is because of frequent ejaculation and you diminish the vitality. So again, it impacts how you show up in the world. If you show up in the full power, I've spent thousands of hours studying different techniques and practices that can transform your life and your business because it helps you to thrive and make a positive impact in the world with your magnetism and start to drawing things to you like law of attraction. This was talked about in the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, published almost 100 years ago. One of the top self-help books on business. I get pushed back talking about sex now. Can you imagine then him trying to talk about it? He dedicated a whole chapter, but this book was based on him talking to the wealthiest, most successful people in this time period and doing studies and seeing what were the things, what were their habits, what were the things that they were doing that had them be so successful. A lot of them talked about sexual transmutation, channeling their sexual energy and desires into other areas of their lives. It's believed that Nikola Tesla, Thomas Edison, Steve Jobs knew how to do this as well because it helps you tap into your creative genius. Nikola Tesla spent time in India, which is where Tantra is from. Tantra helps you with these sexual transmutation practices, and it does increase your magnetism. Why so many young men are single and sexless? Relationship trends are jeopardizing intimacy skills. Modern day dating is lacking in so many areas. This was taken from Psychology Today. Research shows that over 60% of men, young men, are currently single, and sexual intimacy is at a 30-year low across genders. Men must prioritize real life relationships and attune to those shifts because women have started to prioritize this already. Women have been doing a lot of their work. I know there's a lot of women that still need to do their work, and it can be a really hot mess. And I used to be one of those women. So it's not to shame anyone, but a lot of women are doing a lot of work or getting therapy and working on themselves. It's raising the bar with the expectation that they have are in men and realizing that we don't want to continue these unhealthy cycles of relationships. You're seeing much lower rates of marriages because people are taking a step back from modern day dating. I'm going to share with you how to be an unforgettable lover that women crave. The three tenets of Tantra are breath, sound, and movement. White Tantra practice is to meditate. The reason that meditation helps you so much is your brain is your largest sex organ. When we're overthinking, we're under feeling. The longer a woman can be in a meditative state, the easier it is for them to orgasm. The longer a man can be in a meditative state, the longer he will last in bed. Tantra helps you use your five senses and drop down and connect into your body. So breathing, taking nice, long, slow, deep breaths. One, it helps to regulate and calm your nervous system, which makes you desirable. Women, then if we can breathe deeply during sex and have long, slow, deep breaths, we'll be more orgasmic. Men, you'll be able to last longer as well if you're breathing deep, deep down into your belly and taking nice, long, slow, deep breathing and encouraging your lover, whisper in her ear and have her continue to breathe. Because a lot of times women, we unconsciously will hold our breath for a moment when the pleasure starts to build up and then our orgasm will disappear. That has happened to me in the past. And so breathing deeply will help to support orgasms for women. And then sound. Sound is like a thief and it steals the tension from your body. For women, when we have a lot of tension in our bodies, it'll be more challenging for us to orgasm. Men, when you hold more tension in your body, you orgasm too quickly. You won't last as long as you want. And then movement, moving and dance and other practices. And dancing is so great because when you're dancing, you are breathing more deeply. You are listening to sound. You could be singing along and you're moving your body. A lot of times we are so still or have these stuck energies within us. And knowing how to move our sexual energy, our life force energy through us is really powerful. Tantra's ancient wisdom from over 5,000 years ago, and wasn't even about having better sex. The byproduct of Tantra is that you have better sex because if you can be dropped in and be more present with your lover and you're able to calm the monkey mind from distracting you and you can really tune into your partner and you're not thinking about all the stressors of the world, you can really have intimacy and connection. That is going to be something that a woman desires and really craves. It's so rare to be found. I've had a lot of lovers. With that, only two lovers that I had really knew how to have this type of sex with me. I don't desire having regular sex. Do you want something gourmet or an amazing meal served to you so deliciously by the best chef? And all these courses, and you just like, oh my gosh, all your senses are being immersed in this experience with the food, and it's just everything, the ambiance, everything is so great. Do you want to have that? Or do you want to have an experience where you're going through a fast food drive-through and it's just a quickie? And so a lot of women, there's an orgasm gap, and sometimes we're just starting to get turned on. And then men, the way our arousal cycles are different, men will already be finished. So we're missing each other, and there's so much more that we could share, but you're just not being educated on that. And I'm here to really support you with that. I had a client in his 60s who wasn't able to make love to his wife. Even Viagra was failing him. It was not working. After a few weeks of coaching, their sex life began improving. And then 6 months later, he was having better sex with his wife in their 60s than when they were in their 30s. They were married for 30 years. He shared with me, he goes, I feel more power in my penis. I wish I knew about this 15 years ago. Now they're having lovemaking sessions for hours. Even before starting the day, he had an hour-long session with her. He was like, she had 6 to 8 orgasms before they went to work. He was ready to go again the next day. He started having morning erections again. If you're not having morning wood in the mornings, that's an indicator of your cardiovascular health as well. Whenever I work with clients, I also help them balance their gut microbiome, work with their health because your body's an instrument for you to experience pleasure. You can spend a lot of money on pills and creams, but they can have side effects and something will still be missing because you're not fully present and dropped in. You don't know how to have intimacy or connection. You can spend the next few years learning on how all this works and you can be able to have that mastery, but you might get frustrated and give up. Or I can guide you and teach you on these practices if you really want to dive deeper and help you just overcome any challenges you experience as you learn that highest level of peak performance and self mastery.